Hello and welcome to our new video. We've tested the Philips OneBlade Pro 360 for you, and in this video, you'll find out whether it's worth it and what the 360 actually means, so stay tuned. We're starting with a quick product overview. Okay, before we start, a quick note. The Philips OneBlade Pro 360 is available in different versions, and for our video, we chose the version with body grooming. That means that we have two skin protection attachments included, and a 360 blade, as well as a standard blade. This is often included in the Philips face and body variants because Philips says the original blade is for the body and the 360 blade is for the face. Why is that? Simply put, the regular blade only tilts forward and backward and is rigid otherwise. The 360 blade, on the other hand, also tilts forward and backward, yes, but additionally also to the left and right, making it somewhat more flexible when shaving and able to theoretically adapt better to facial contours. And with that, the cat is out of the bag, as they say. Now you know why it's called the OneBlade Pro 360 because it essentially is the old OneBlade Pro equipped with a new 360 blade. So it's about the blade, actually. We will take a closer look at whether it's worth it and whether it makes a difference in our upcoming practical test. But first, let's talk a little more about the product. And we think one of the most important points is that all OneBlade devices are completely waterproof. This means that you can clean the devices under running water, which is especially important, but you can also take them with you into the shower if you like, or simply use them for wet shaving as well as dry shaving. So this means we have a whole range of applications simply because the thing is water resistant. Regarding the cutting area, we essentially have two options. One is shaving with a bare blade close to the skin, but we can also trim with the device using the included comb attachment. It is adjustable from 0.4 to 10 millimeters in 14 length settings. In addition, one of the skin protection attachments also offers 3 millimeters, so you definitely have a wide range of options here. Moreover, the length adjustment with the rotary wheel on this comb attachment works quite well. Definitely very pleasant and comfortable. That's all we can say for now. As for the blade, according to Philips, we have a blade system here that moves 12,000 times per minute. To ensure a safe device, there is a double-layered protection system consisting of an anti-friction coating and a rounded blade edges, so you don't cut your skin. The blades themselves last about 4 months. When they are worn out, a small ejection symbol appears on the blade. That's when you know you need to replace the blade. And what you always have to be aware of is that you have ongoing costs here. When it comes to the battery, Philips gets straight to the point. We have a lithium-ion battery here with a runtime of 2 hours and a charging time of 1 hour. Compared to most shavers and beard trimmers that we have tested on the channel, these are definitely very good values. Battery monitoring is done through a digital battery display in percentage. That is definitely quite good. And the device can be charged once with the supplied charging station, but also directly via the cable. There's absolutely nothing to complain about there. Sadly, you have to do without a mains operation with this device. Not because Philips forgot it, but for safety reasons. To wrap up our little overview, we usually come to the scope of delivery. Since we've already mentioned most of the parts, we'll just show it all to you so you can pause if you're interested in something in particular. The only parts we haven't mentioned yet are the travel case, which is pretty cool, relatively well made, and the protective cap for the blades. By the way, if you are interested in the OneBlade Pro 360, check the description below the video. You can find all the links there. Next, let's get to the main point, which is our practical test. Okay, maybe a few things about the device itself first. Grabbing it for the first time, you get the feeling that it has a good overall quality and was well made. All the parts fit together well and make a good impression. The ergonomic design provides a comfortable grip, and the ribbed areas add some extra slip resistance, which is definitely a plus. However, we think a thicker rubber coating would have been even better. The OneBlade scores points with its weight. We are between 110 and 120 grams here. This makes the Pro actually the heaviest OneBlade, but compared to many beard trimmers and razors, it is of course relatively light. Accordingly, the device is generally quite easy to handle when working. Only in tricky areas like the chin or under the nose does it sometimes not perform quite as well. Especially on the chin, it can sometimes be really awkward despite the 360 blade. Yes, it does add a bit more movement, but to say it's a huge difference compared to the standard blade would be an exaggeration. Although an attempt is being made to address this fundamental problem of the OneBlade, namely that the blade is so rigid, and admittedly it is slightly better with the new blade, but unfortunately, the problem is not quite gone yet. If you look at some modern razors and how they actually manage to follow the contours, you'll realize that Philips still has a lot of development work ahead of them. At least the device can score points again when it comes to its noise level. With something around 60 decibels, it is actually quite good. And this is an important point because you are using the device on your head and thus close to your ears. And this is often underestimated, as devices that are too loud can really be uncomfortable there. Let's move on to the topic of safety. And of course, the big question is, does this dual protection system we mentioned earlier work? And the answer is, yes, it does. But what really works is that it doesn't cut so close to the skin. This also means there are fewer skin irritations. Anyway, at least that's how it was for us. But please don't misunderstand, we've also had razors that were even better, but that's really complaining on a high level. Overall, the OneBlades do a pretty good job, but as we said, the main thing is that it doesn't cut so close to the skin. The downside of that is that it doesn't get as smooth, of course. It almost feels like a wet shave at first. But when you take a closer look or feel, you notice that there are still stubbles left. It doesn't get as smooth. We would say it's a wet shave plus 1 to 1.5 days. For those who find that sufficient, they have hit the jackpot, because shaving with a bare blade is the great strength of the OneBlade. They can do it incredibly efficiently, uncompromisingly, and quickly. We've never experienced such a fast shave of this quality with any device so far. When we had electric razors here, they often left a few hairs standing, so you had to go over some spots way too many times. When you do a wet shave, there is a lot of preparation, and you have to be a bit more careful because it changes the skin. The OneBlades, on the other hand, just scrape everything away. But we have to say that the OneBlade has its challenges in regards to trimming, at least with the precision comb attachment that's included. It's definitely significantly better than the regular OneBlade 360, but a real beard trimmer just does the job better in the end. So, if your goal is not to shave, but to maintain a beard at a certain length, then you'd be better off getting yourself a decent beard trimmer. Just check out our channel. We've already tested some of those devices. Regarding body grooming, you have to change the blade first, as you have to use the regular blade for that. But once you've done that, the result is essentially the same as if you were using the 360 blade. To make this a bit more illustrative for you, we've demonstrated it on the arm. In the end, it turns out that no matter which skin protection attachment we use, the results become significantly worse. Similar to the previous pruning, the devices just can't handle it quite as well. When you work without an attachment, on the other hand, the results are really good. So there's nothing to complain about. Of course, you are not forced to use these body hair attachments. Sure, they are there to reduce the risk of injury in sensitive areas. However, we find that it works relatively safely even without the attachment. If you can, you should work with the bare blade. You should only be a bit cautious in particularly sensitive areas, or perhaps consider using the skin protection attachment, because there's a chance the blade could nick the skin in wrinkly areas. Let's get to the conclusion. With the OneBlade Pro 360, you essentially get an all-in-one device. Admittedly, the trimming results can't really keep up with some of the beard trimmers we've tested here on the channel. However, when it comes to shaving, the OneBlade does a great job. Very fast, very efficient. Even compared to some electric shavers, it still has an edge. The shaving result is also convincing in itself. However, it's not quite as close as a wet shave. In the end, we would recommend the OneBlade Pro, but not for trimming, but rather for shaving and contouring. The 360 blade is a nice gimmick. However, in our opinion, the effect was limited. Therefore, we would make it more dependent on the price as to whether to get the regular OneBlade Pro or the Pro 360. If both are similarly priced, we would probably choose the 360, and if not, we would get the regular one. So, if you're interested in the OneBlade Pro, then check the description below the video. We'll link both versions for you there. And if you're still not sure as to whether you want the Pro or just the regular OneBlade, then check out this video here. There we compared both with each other, and that will hopefully help you to make the right call.